Hello, Flosstube. I'm Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my Flosstube update number 352. My number's backwards. Can't read my own handwriting. 352. Today is Saturday, September 21st, I believe, 2024. September is almost over, about another week left to go. And yeah, so I've been diligently working away. And I have met my 2 WIPGO goals, and I'm working on my secondary chart for September, my second secondary chart. And so I'm doing well. I would like to put in a couple more days on my WIPGO calls if I have time, but I also like to finish my one secondary chart. Well, actually, I'd like to finish both of them. We'll see. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and get started. So, as I said, I've been working on my second WIPGO call, which was my number 11, Lost and Found, by Silver Creek Samplers, Diane Grick of Silver Creek Samplers. So this, the text says, I am a lost sheep, gone astray. Shepherd, find me, this I pray. O shepherd, listen to my prayer and keep me in thy loving care. I really like that little sentiment. So this is the one that last week I talked about how it was on really high count fabric, and I had started in the center and I was doing 1 thread over 2 because I believe it's like 46 count, very small. And but the color of the sheep, which is this kind of a beigeish, tannish color, didn't show up very well on the fabric, and then it being very small, it was really hard to work with. And I just, as much as I liked the fabric, the color of the fabric, and even the size, I didn't mind so much, but I felt like the sheep didn't really show up well, and it was really hard to see, hard to work with. Just, I wasn't enjoying it. So I restarted it. As I said, on this 28 count Lugana that I had dyed myself, and I just liked the way it looked. It just seemed to pop. And I started in the upper left hand corner up here, and this is how far I got in my 7 days. So I finished this dove. I had just had his beak to go here, and in the list of colors that it gave, they're all DMC colors, and I had at some point I had pulled them all out of the project bag. I guess, like, you know, last year is when I started it, about a year ago, and I had, in the intervening times, I had pulled all the DMC bobbins out of there. I was out of wild hair and just I pulled everything out of the projects they were in. And but I have this, what I call my DMC junk box. I have all my DMC organized by number in some of those plastic sectioned boxes, but I've gotten very lazy about putting things back in there. And so I have this box of just loose bobbins, you know, just from pulled out of projects or finished projects or whatever, and I just tossed them in the box instead of putting them away properly. And anyway, so I had gone through that box to see if the bobbins for this project were in that box, and sure enough they were, except for what was on that list of colors as number 382. Straw is the name of the color. And I had not come across that in the box, right? So I was thinking, you know, I was like, I don't know where that color is. Maybe I'll just go to Hobby Lobby and buy that one skein or whatever. But I had put it off, whatever, and so when I was trying to decide whether or not to go get it, I thought, well, you know, I probably have it in some other project bag somewhere, and I need to look for it. So I went to my thread stash. So for those of you who might not know, it's an app that's actually very handy because you can put all your projects in there. There's Thread Stash. I don't know if you can see it there. Thread Stash is the app, and what's really nice about it is like it's too much light, too much glare. You can't see it. There it is. So you can put like the threads you have in there. What I usually mostly do is put my projects in there, and then like you could put fabric stash and things. I don't use any of those things, but then you could also make like separate charts. Like I put Christmas charts there, 100 episode giveaway, WIPGO, things like that, just to keep track of, you know, what I'm doing, whatever. Cross stitch camp is one of my list, and then but in the tools you can put there's a tool there called Thread Tracker. And with a thread tracker, you whenever you've entered under my projects, there's a place there to put fabric you're using, or but most importantly your threads, right? All the called for threads. So you can, you know, they're like like for this project, they're DMC threads, and so I have them all entered in there. And so if I could, actually I can pull it up right here. Here it is. So here's Lost and Found. Right there. And under Lost and Found, it has 13 threads, right? So I was using that thread tracker. I went to look up DMC number 382, and it wasn't on the list anywhere. And I thought, well, that's really weird, because it's on that list of fabrics. I mean, threads for in the instructions for the project, but it wasn't in there anywhere. And so I went to the on this like where you can enter I guess I went to this specific this project for the threads there, and like you hit that. So here's all the if I could get the glare right. So here's all the colors that are listed on the chart, you know. And so here, instead of 382, it's 3821. And I think that when the chart was printed, they left off the 1 on 3821, because it's straw is the name of the color, just like what the chart says. But like 382 doesn't exist in the DMC list, color list. So I went to look at DMC to look up the 382, and it wasn't there. I mean, the DMC list that's on Thread Stash. And so I went to look at 382, and voila, there it was. I mean, 3821, sorry, not 382. So anyway, so I realized that I must have realized that when I originally put the project in Thread Stash. And so I think, like I said, I think it was just a typo on the thread list for this project. So I did have 3821. It was in my junk box, and this is the only place it's used in the chart. I think is for the 6 little stitches for the bird's beak. So anyway, I finished the bird, and so this garland across the top, there's a whole, but there's like 3 colors, I think. And I just did the red just because I happened to have it out because I had done this heart. So I just did the red threads across the top. There's like 2 shades of green, I think, that go in here with it. And then I did some of the beginning of the text, except that the word shepherd right here, right? I am a lost sheep gone astray, and shepherd is the next word. And this word is supposed to be over 1 square. So this line on the D is lined up with this little stitch, and it's supposed to be lined up with this line on the Y. So it's off by 1. So because it's off by 1, where I started this, the browner color of the branch, I started it based on where this S was. And then I started putting in the leaves and everything. But I was doing I think I started with the leaves first or something, just because it was, closest to the S or whatever. But anyway, I started putting in the brown vine branch, whatever you call it. And when I got, I was checking it, and I got over here somewhere, and I realized it's wrong. Something's wrong. And that's when I realized I had put this word in the wrong place, but I had already done the word, and I had done all of this here, and I thought, I'm not pulling it all out. I'm not doing it all over. So what I did was, because I thought, well, okay, it doesn't matter because, I could just move everything over. But I thought, well, that means moving everything over. And so instead, what I did was I took off 1 stitch off of this. See, there's supposed to be 4, after this little double thing, there's supposed to be 4. And instead I just took 1 out, so there was 3, and then continued on from there. So after here, everything is correct. And so with the sheep, here, it's just 1 stitch off of this leaf. It's supposed to be 2 spaces instead of 1 space between this leaf and the white the beige color of lighter color of the sheep's face. There's supposed to be 2 empty spaces here, and there's only 1 because the sheep is in the right place and this part of the branch is in the wrong place. But I went ahead and put the sheep in, partly so that I wouldn't forget the correction that the way I put the sheep in the right place. But I really like the way the tan of the sheep shows up better against this fabric. It still, doesn't stand out like it would if the fabric were, I don't know, green or something. But I like the way it looks here. And there's a darker color. This is the color of the branch. It's the only place on the sheep that it's used. If you look, it's right here. But this darker color I haven't put in yet, and so that'll give it a little more definition, I think. And I didn't do the white of the face or the black of the eye. There's this tan color around the eye, and there's black, and there's one little white stitch in there, and white in the face. And I haven't done that yet, or the ears. But I did a little bit more than 7 days. I think I did 8 or 9 days on the sheep. So I may get back and do a little more, at least do the face a little more. But yeah, that's lost and found. So that's 7 days working on it. This branch part is done. It needs leaves, but the branch itself is done. And then there's a bunch of all this grass and stuff and flowers and things. But this branch is done. And then this is the garland across the top, and there's another one down here. that needs to be done, but yeah, it's just a lot of stitching. The words here went pretty fast, and I wanted to do the rest of this, but I wanted to get to the sheep, you know. And like I said, I really like the way it stands out a little better on this fabric than it did on the other one. It's just easier to work with in general, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's Lost and Found by Diane Grick of Silver Creek Samplers. And so this is 2 over 2 on 28 count Lugana that I dyed myself. Yeah. So that I have met the WIPGO goal I had, which was 7 days. And, you know, so if I have time, I'll get back to it, whatever. So I worked on my other, my secondary call for this number, but also I did just briefly work more on, this was June, the June Rabbit was not, it's not, it was not on the WIPGO chart specifically, but as you recall, I finished September, which is here. Oops, that's the back side. I finished the September one, which shares the fabric with this June one. So I went ahead and worked on the June chart briefly. My magnet is getting out of hand here. And I just unthreaded my needle, but that's neither here nor there. So I did a little bit more work on this. This is part of the bunny down here. I was hoping to get at least the 2 bunnies finished, but I was falling asleep and it was late at night, and so I didn't want to make any mistakes by stitching in my sleep. So there's, you know, more of the bunny to go, but I got one of the legs and a lot of his body done. And like I said, there's one more bunny that goes over here. And then there's just, you know, the little flowers and stuff, the details that go in there. I've done this middle section and the like yellow. So they're the white of their tails, and then the flower that each one has, and these little hearts go in here. So it's mostly getting those big bunnies done, and then the other details. But anyway, so this is just one day, like just part of the, you know, a few hours working on that. So we'll see. Today's the 21st, so there's more time for that. But anyway, my secondary chart for this number was another one of the Starry Night ones. And so I'm working on number 3, which is this angel here. And her little banner there says hope. No, it doesn't say hope. I'm making that up. I'm totally making it up. Noel is what it says. I don't know what's wrong. I just saw an O for some reason. I'm trying to read it backwards. Noel is what it says. Yeah. And so it's almost all black up across the top. And then like this Bethlehem one, there's the city is mostly done in black work. I mean, black backstitching. Anyway, so this is where I am so far. You can see the angel goes in here. There's her hand. And she'll have the blue and gold to make her halo and the dress. And then this is the banner. So that'll be backstitched in place. And then sorry, I'm getting a cramp in my hand. Sorry. My hands are very crampy today. This is where there'll be a star here. This goes up further, I think, you know. This is where I am right now. I'm working on this black sky. And then this is one of the buildings for the town of Bethlehem. And the rest of the buildings go down here. And there's a palm tree in this design. Down here at the bottom, there's a palm tree. So, yeah, so I expect to be finished with this. I've only worked on it basically yesterday, one day. So, yeah. So that's the Prairie Schooler Starry Night, and this is number 3. Out of the 7 designs, I still have to do this one and this one. And so I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm working on the 5th one now, and then there's these 2 here. So I should have them finished by the end of the month, I hope. I have 1, 2. I don't have it. I don't know. Do I have it on the list? I don't think I have any more. One, two, let's see, 1, 7, 2, 1, 2, this is 3, I have 4. I don't have any more of them on my WIPGO chart specifically, but I may squeeze them in here and there. But yeah, I'd like to finish them by Christmas. I don't know, because we're still in the moving limbo. I may, even if I get them all finished as far as stitching is concerned, by December, I may or may not have them finished, because I'm not working on finishing anything right now. I mean on FFOing anything right now because of the limbo of moving. All my finishing things are put away in storage, and I don't have any place to make a mess. I don't have any books to put on my work to while they dry with the glue dries or whatever. So everything's in up in the air until we move and are settled and unpacked and things like that. So I don't know that anything's getting done by this Christmas. I make no promises, but I'm hoping that I'll be finished with Starry Night in the next couple of days. Let me look at my calendar real quick. So I guess yeah, I have number 6 listed, but I guess number 5 is the one I'm missing. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So like I have the rabbits listed in here and things like that. So, but I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping to finish the Starry Night charts by the end of the year. I won't be making them into ornaments, I don't think, anytime soon, unless we sell the house, like, the next day. As a matter of fact, we have a showing tomorrow, so we'll have to do some, the basic cleanup and stuff like that, and hopefully soon we'll get an offer and that we can, take, and then we can, hopefully find another place soon, and all that stuff that has to happen. And in the meantime, I have a concert. The orchestra that I'm in, the Mesa Community College Orchestra, we're doing a concert Tuesday, which is just a few days, with there's another orchestra from, I think, one of the high schools. So we're kind of doing a combined concert. They're doing part of the concert, and then we're doing the other half with them. They're playing, it's sort of a side-by-side situation. They're playing with us. And then we have our real concert the following week. So we're doing 2 performances in a row, with, you know, the first concert being mostly the parents of those kids, you know, and then the second concert is us. And we're playing one more piece on there that we're not playing with the kids. So it's going to be a little bit more, you know, just us. Plus, I think the first half of that concert is the bands from the community college. So it's a different, you know, different organizations, you know. But because of the high school thing, I think they didn't have a place to play. There's something, I don't remember if there's what the conductor explained why they're having to use our building for their concert or theirs. But so yeah, so playing with them is sort of like a working dress rehearsal for us, you know. And then we do the performance the following Tuesday, our performance with an extra piece of music the following Thursday. I think Tuesday. So anyway, so I've got that coming up along with this, you know, this showing that we're preparing for and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so I've got all that going on. But I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping in the next few days to finish stitching the Starry Night thing, and then maybe get some more time in on the June Rabbit and the other 2 WIPGO calls, the 2 sheep, the 2 sheep of September, the wandering sheep that I did last time, and then this one, lost and found. So all in all, I think the month is going well. If you haven't noticed, I have short hair. I'm a shorn lamb. Speaking of sheep, I'm as Dickens said, a shorn lamb. Got my hair cut finally. Yeah, I tried at some point. It was before 2020, because my mother was still alive. I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll just grow my hair out, because once upon a time, I used to have it like kind of a chin length bob, but here in Arizona, I guess because it just gets so hot in the summer, that I felt like my hair was like a thick mop on the back of my head, because I would get so hot, like I'd wake up, you know, with my head all sweaty and stuff like that, and my hair just felt really thick in the back, you know, just with the extra heat, I guess, here. I don't know, because like I said, I wore it that way for a while when I was in Little Rock. You know, I had it like a chin length bob kind of thing, and without any problem. The only reason I cut it short was because I really don't like hair in my face, and I used to wear like a headband or something behind, you know, and I just got sick of that. And had gone back to having my hair really short. And so, like I said, at some point before 2020, I had thought, oh, maybe I'll grow my hair out. And nope, couldn't do it. Got sick of it. So I've been wearing it short. And so my sister and I have been talking about going to get, you know, a haircut, and had things come up, and had, you know, were not able to do it until finally the other day, Thursday or Friday, finally got it done, and yeah, so it feels a lot better. Anyway, so I'm talking randomly. So technically, I've you know, hit the 2 main WIPGO calls, and really I have a couple of bingos, if you will. The first week, this top tier here, my 1 through 5. This week, this is bingoed. And this bottom week down here is bingoed. This down here. I just haven't like updated the colors. You know, my chart is scribbled on, but I haven't sat at the computer and reprinted it or whatever. But I have this one that stays in my stitching bag, and then I have another one that's folded up and scribbled on that stays in my stitching my everyday notebook, where I write down, you know, like I have it's just like a calendar, you know, planner book, and I just write in there like, you know, what project I worked on each day or whatever, and like how many days I've worked on this WIPGO call, and that, you know, so that I hit the goal or whatever, or if I have a finish, you know, things like that. So in that chart, I have another copy of my WIPGO chart, and that one's all scribbled on too. So anyway, so I have been thinking about, I think I mentioned this last week or the week before, about somebody had asked, you know, if people had been making WIPGO, their new WIPGO boards or whatever. And I've been thinking about that. And I think I may do something elaborate like I did last year. Last year I had, was it last year? Yeah. I had my basic WIPGO call. And then I had, for every square, I had the WIPGO call, a new start, and an FFO. Because I had a whole bunch of things that I had, charts that I had finished stitching, but I had never FFO'd them. And so for that particular year, in each square, every time a number was called, that had at least one FFO listed, plus a new start, plus an old WIP. So I may try to do something similar to that, so that, because I have like an old set of WIPs and this new set of WIPs, and I finished some of them on here. I think I said last week that I had something like 12 or 15 finishes this year, and I don't know that they're all on here. Some of them are the rabbit things that are ended up being finished, like last like September this month had finished it. The mouse's Christmas decorating, beach outing, and lucky day, those charts are all finished. And the Starry Nights that I've done out of the Prairie Schooler booklet, everyone that I've started, I finished now. I will have, after I finish this one, which I intend to finish, I'll just have 2 left out of those 7. So anyway, so this is helping me, you know, finish things, but then I will have just, you know, some of these charts to carry into next year. But then I have my old WIPs from that I've been working on for the last couple of years. So I'm hoping that some of those older WIPs, excuse me, are, you know, close enough to being finished that maybe I can finish at least 1 or 2 of them. I don't know. and some of the charts from this year, maybe like this one, Lost and Found. Maybe I can finish it next year when it comes up or whatever. So I may do, I don't know, something like, say, 2 whips for each square, plus, a new start or something. I don't know, something along those lines, just so I can churn out more charts, or at least, get, a few more days on them or something like that. The 7 days goal is good because just really out of the whole month, it's just a week, right? So if you have 2 numbers that are called, that's just 2 weeks out of a month. So there's 2 more weeks out of the month left. And, those 2 weeks can be played around with, either to finish a chart or to make significant progress on a new start or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, because I have so many charts, and the charts that I bought were charts that I want to finish. I mean, it's charts that I want to do, and so it doesn't. We all have, charts that we're not gonna, ever get around to finishing, whatever. But I'd like to work on them. And yeah, so we'll see. I have so many, and I had been trying not to, set my sights on more charts that I want to do, but it's inevitable that there are things that that I want to work on. And so I've been making a list, like on my phone, of just things that I've come across that either I've seen on Flosstube or whatever. That as I see them, I've written them down, and I don't have all the names of the designers necessarily, because I usually get them off Flosstube, and somebody will mention, and I won't hear it, or I can't find it or whatever. But like 5 Whales of Summer was something that Amy Loves Toads, Amy's Flosstube, she had mentioned this chart, and I found it. I don't know who, I don't know that I found the name of the designer, I don't know. But I like 5 Whales of Summer. I don't know, I haven't decided if I like it well enough to buy it. I like it, but it seems like it's a rather big chart, so I don't know. Not big, but good sized. One by Stitches by Ethel is the name of the designer, and I don't remember the name of the chart, but it's a squirrel kind of jumping over a penguin. A pumpkin. This is, I think, a new chart for this market that just happened, the online one that just happened. Lindy Stitches was showing the new releases for this online market, and I think she and her husband did a total of, like, I want to say 4 videos showing all the new releases, 4 or 5 videos showing all the new releases. And I purposefully did not watch them, didn't watch, anybody's videos about the new releases, just because, because of our limbo circumstances, I didn't want to get tempted and involved in any of those things. But she and her husband did a top 10 purchases, top 10 orders kind of thing recently, and so that's where I got this one about the Stitches by Ethel. I think that's where I got that one, with the squirrel jumping over the pumpkin, really cute. And then I think that's where I got that from. Anyway, but one, and I don't know who the designer is. but the name of the chart is called Halloween Snail, and so it's this snail, and instead of a shell on its back, it has a pumpkin, and its face has a skull face, kind of, it's very cute. And then there's one that I think is tiny modernist, I'm not sure, called Nighttime Owl. And there's a chart by La Di Da called Witch Hazel, I believe. And it's a crow with, I think, a witch's hat or something. It's a Halloween kind of chart. And then Lilac Crow's Deadly Aquarium. I've seen a few people mention it. Some Flosstube I watched the other day, they had finished it. And I know that, back when it started, when the Stitch Along was about to start, Elizabeth Ann Stitch, her Flosstube, she had mentioned it, that, she was going to start it. And so, yeah, I've been, and Steph from Pam and Steph had mentioned it also, and that she had bought it. It was a Stitch Along, a mystery Stitch Along, earlier this summer, I guess. And even though, again, I wanted it, but I did not buy it at that point. But so I have it written down, just, one that I want to buy eventually. Anyway, so those are the ones on my wish list, kind of, that that at some point I hope to have time to purchase. We shall see. Anyway, I think that's all that I have in the way of nonsense, plans and nonsense. So I'm cogitating more on what I want to do next year for WIPGO. And actually now is kind of a good time to think about it. And because I do still have the previous year's, WIPGO lists on ThreadStash. So I can go through and look at those, because I think last year's WIPGO projects, I don't know that I finished any of them, or maybe I finished one or something like that. So I can see how far along I am on any of those, and like I said, make a big WIPGO board with lots of stuff on it, and see where I go from there. I don't know. I have 3 months to think about it. So anyway, so I think that is all I've got to talk about for now. And so I'm hoping, like I said, to finish the Starry Night chart that I started on so far. Maybe I can even finish it. I don't know. Probably not this weekend because, like I said, we have to, work on a few things here in the house just to get ready for the showing tomorrow morning. And as much as I want to get a good offer or whatever, I really, really, really want to hope that we'll get a good offer, so that because every time we have a showing, I have to pack up my cats and take it with me, and pack up all their stuff in my room so that nobody wants to see a dirty litter box or whatever. But and there's no place I can take the cats and stash them while we're doing this. So I have to put them in the car, and we sort of have to make ourselves scarce for an hour or so, half an hour or so while they look at the house, and then we can come back. But so it's hard for them. It's a little stressful for them. It's hard for me because I have to kind of clean up all their stuff, and so yeah, I don't like putting them through it, putting the cats through it, but so it's one of those things, and of course we've taken most of our like furniture and things like that out of the house already, but so we want the house to be in the best light, if you will, for people to consider. But so anyway, the whole thing is with showings is hard. We don't have any open houses, scheduled, and in a way that's good because, again, if we were to do that, I'd have to get a hotel room or something for the cats, so we could be gone for several hours or something during the open house or whatever. And I don't want to have to do that if I don't have to. But anyway, that's enough. But so yeah. So that's all for now, and I will see you next week, and hopefully I'll have at least one finish. So next week will be the 28th. It'll be the end of September almost, and then just 2 more days till it's all done. And we'll see. By next week, I should know what the new WIPGO numbers are, because those should be coming out. Today's the 21st, so they'll be coming out on the 25th. That's when Jess Marie usually announces the new numbers. So by next Saturday, I will have the new numbers for October. So we shall see. Okay, so I will let you go, and I will see you next week with all that's coming up for October. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.